Welcome, everybody, to Generation Dan, the only show that please don't order extra jalapenos. You're going to make my ass explode. I'm Atlas Novack. I'm your millennial. Who else is here with me?
I'm Dino the Genetic Marvel, and I am perpetually grumpy. That's who I am. What can I say?
And somebody should be here with us, but she's not here yet, but hopefully she will be.
Yeah.
Carol Newell, when the time comes. Annie, relax.
And he's not going to relax.
Annie's not going to relax. I'm at my brother-in-law's house sitting. So for people watching this on YouTube being like, why does he look like there's a nuke going off behind him? That's why. Because I'm sitting in his kitchen.
Basically, that's how that works, people. Yeah, so this was interesting. I was looking up different holidays. So like I like watching there's Carol.
There's Carol.
All right. I'll wait till she's on screen and then I'll bring her in.
Before we get into the
No, that's fine. Yeah. It's this is the thing is too, like I love the fact that how what was it? Like if you look back in like medieval times, like serfs only worked 150 days a year. And then that's it. Yes. So we right now work more, earn less than ever before. And you're like, yeah, this is horrible. But
yes, but at the same time, we have like modern creature comforts that they didn't have. Like if they ripped their pants, they had to fucking sew their own pants. And
okay, but yeah. They didn't have to worry about taxes. So
they did. They were being taxed by their feudal lords.
Not the same way. That's harvest time. Here, chunk goes to you. I get the rest. We're good. It's not as complex as it is now. That's the frustration.
Yes, you're right. It is not as complex.
Right.
I'm not trying to defend capitalism either, but like it's not amazing. Like the amount of ways you could shit yourself to death was like way higher. So
I'm sorry, but that's just the strongest survive. That's see, listen, you keep on saying it like that, and I'm like, no. If you can't handle milk, sorry, that's just life.
Milk, it was cholera.
It's
yeah.
Please, hold on. Carol's mentioning.
Can you see me?
No, hold on. You know what? Let's try and add her. Carol, we cannot see you. We just have a blank screen that's kind of blurry at the same time. Maybe Carol, have you turned into a life of being a spy? Maybe that's she just left.
She just left. She forgot the like start cam thing. I'll have to edit all this out.
That's all right. That's fine.
What was I gonna say? Yeah. So again, I'm not saying that like it was like all worse all the time to be a medieval peasant, but I'm not saying it was like rosy. That's all.
Hi, Jessica. We are talking about holidays from other countries.
We're recording this on May the 4th, and this will be coming out the week of Cinco de Mayo. So,
yeah, I mean, listen, it's all those things. Like we're celebrating Star Wars today, as every good crazy person does, and tomorrow we have tacos. I mean, listen, life can't get any better. My issue is this: is like I tried to explain this to Victoria, and she was baffled until we went to Greece, where I'm like, "Oh, Justin, thank you for supporting." Was that I'm like a Greek person will work as much as they can to maximize their enjoyment of life and not a second more. Like that's not a thing, right?
That's a good philosophy.
And I tried to explain to her, I'm like, so listen, like cities like Toronto, New York, LA, London, Hong Kong, all these big countries are great for making money, not good for actually living, not enjoying life.
Sorry, bye.
You don't have to apologize. You could just leave. This ain't the,
yeah,
get the airport. You could just go.
Yeah.
Watch really? Hello. But yeah, so then we went to Greece and she was like, oh, this is top tier living. I'm like, yeah, exactly. Like it's not it's that whole idea where you're like, if you're working towards something, a goal, great. That's understandable, right? The idea of, oh, I took an extra job so I can save up money for a down payment for a house. Makes sense. That's a great idea. But in turn, if you're like, oh, I have 7 jobs just so I can make ends meet, you're like, that sucks. That's horrible. That's a horrible way to exist. So it's one of those things where, like, in Greece, they still have a siesta, right? Like it's
Carol says, "How about now?"
nope, still not. You are still blurry.
I was gonna say maybe check the stop
Victoria.
time. Hi, Victoria. But yeah, you said, but in Greece they don't call it a siesta, do they? What do they call it?
Just an afternoon nap.
Afternoon nap. Okay.
There's no, I don't know that there is a word, but like my Greek is more conversational than anything else, and it's
It would just be the word for nap, probably.
Yeah, it's just oh, we're gonna go sleep for the afternoon because in Greece it's too hot. What are you gonna do? Work? You're like, no, you'll die. It's not.
I think
there's Carol.
As climate change gets
Hi,
worse,
Carol.
Carol.
Welcome.
Woo! I figured it out.
Yay.
I mean, you're amazing. That's why. It's clearly that's only reasonable.
So talking about holidays and how in Greece, where like they have something akin to a siesta.
Yes.
Because it's just too goddamn hot to work.
100%. So like, remember, only about like in like the mid to late 2000s did people start getting air conditioning, because they're like, oh, it's too hot. You need to have air conditioning, right?
In the 2000s?
Yeah. People just bared it. They're like, that's fine. What are you gonna do, right? So, but like Greece is a dry heat, right? And it's right on the Mediterranean. So like, as hot as it gets, there's usually a breeze. There's usually shade. So it's not. You're like, if you're in the shade, you're like, you can survive it. It's not.
That's LA basically. If you're on the west side, that's kind of what it is.
Yeah. Well, it depends on where you are, right? So, but then in turn, like,
the valley, you're fucked. There's no sea breeze.
Exactly. Right. So if there's no breeze, you're like, yeah, that's how you die. That's a horrible experience, right? Because you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna be on fire, and that's it. So, but yeah, so in Greece, like, people will wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, go to work, work until noon, come home, have a big meal for lunch, usually with family or whoever, then sleep for a few hours, go back to work for a couple hours, then go out and party at night with friends, maybe have a small meal after work, go out, go home at like 3 o'clock, and then start all over again, right? So it's kind of a sleep is broken up into 2 groups of 4, where like, apparently that was a thing in the past, which I didn't realize. Yeah. So because people were like, yeah, you could wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, it's a lot more peaceful, you can get stuff done, no one's gonna bother you. And because I'll tell you, if somebody calls me at like 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, if you're not dead, you've called the wrong person. I'm not. Yeah, I'm enraged. So
I do gotta say, as a night owl, I enjoy the quiet. Like there was a couple weeks there where my car was in the shop, so I had to take public transit to work. Now this is 25 miles away, so I had to wake up at 4:30 in the morning to get to school by like 7-ish.
Not doing that.
Yeah. Well, there was like a couple of weeks where I was doing it, and I was like, this is kind of nice. Like, I'm just walking down the street at 4:30 in the morning. It's windy. It's like the beginning of that Michael Jackson music video where it's like the fucking debris.
Yeah.
Is that the black and white video? I can't remember. But it's just like there's nobody there. You're just kind of by yourself with your thoughts, or you're behind the Bastard podcast, or whatever it is you're listening to. So I can understand how people might enjoy that. Like there's something about people who work third shift that I'm always kind of curious about.
Yeah.
Like you're on a different axis than the rest of us.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's definitely like, and that's the thing is, even like, I have a hard time sleeping when the sun is out too. Like if I fall asleep during the day, it's because I'm exhausted. My body's like, hey, we're tapping out whether you like it or not, and just off, but that's it's Victoria's. See, this is why I'm married. We should eat Star Wars themed foods today and watch Star Wars marathon. That's totally reasonable, Victoria. We're definitely going to do that.
Are you a Star Wars fan, Carol?
I'm more of a Star Trek than a Star Wars, but I do like Star Wars. It's just if I had to pick one, it would be Star Trek.
Star Trek is so much fun.
My dad's a big Star Trek fan, so yeah.
I always had a hard time when people were like, I only watch Star Wars or I only watch Star Trek. You're like, they're both in space doing shit, right? Like it's fun. Like
I think Star Trek is more social theme.
Sure.
And Star Wars is just, shoot 'em up, bang, bang, pew, 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 pew.
Yeah. Star Wars is more like a fantasy movie, I think, just with that aesthetic. And then Star Trek is like sci-fi.
Yeah.
Which is why I think my dad liked it so much. Like he and my sister used to watch TNG every weekend.
Yeah.
We were kids.
Yeah.
I loved it. The Next Generation was so great.
I grew up on the OG Star Trek.
Why is there no Star
Trek? The first run, it was reruns, but still
counts. There wasn't anything else good on TV. That's totally reasonable. That's fine.
Last time we recorded an episode, it was on Light Jacket Day, the William Shatner thing from Miss Congeniality. What's your perfect date? And he's like, I would say April 25th. It's not too hot. All you need is a light jacket.
I mean, it is the perfect day. There's nothing wrong with that. I see. My thing is that I know, like in Greek culture and also in Chinese culture for my wife, there's so many holidays. Like every month, there's some sort of thing where it's like, oh, everything's shut down for a couple days, and you're like, listen, when you have to work a lot, you're like, that's a great break where you're like, perfect. I'm gonna take a couple days off. I can relax. Do stuff around the house and not have to worry about work is a nice thing. So like that's why I tried to explain to my wife, I'm like, if it's a statutory holiday, that means the government has deemed no one should work this day, and the government is the worst. So if they're the worst and they are saying you need a day off, don't plan anything, just enjoy the day. Just nothing, calm down, stay at home. It's very enjoyable.
We don't really take more than one day off in America, though. That's not a thing.
It's true. You get like a 3-day weekend and then like, oh, your work gives you time off or not. The fact that we don't celebrate May Day, even though the US is where the holiday originated, is messed up.
Yes. You guys get abused constantly. I am taking off Tuesday. That's a reasonable thing. I grew up watching Bill Shatner and Lost Regime on a tour. That's weird. All right, Lady Di, you're good.
I thought that was for the Titanic, not for no.
I mean 50-50. You never know with Lady Di. Just how it is. Greetings from Canada. Penguin Walrus. So happy Carney won. That's fine, Penguin. I'm also Canadian. I'm in Toronto, but I'm not happy that any political party won. I think they should all lose collectively, and everyone should just take a break.
Yes, the George Washington way of looking at things. Political parties.
Listen, it's a little like this is my problem is, and I don't mean to do to change this stuff, but it's like, hey, all I want is someone in charge who actually isn't crazy.
What a concept!
Right? Like, and people are like, well, you have to vote. I'm like, I don't see anyone worth voting for. No thanks. Yeah.
Dino's philosophy for new viewers of Generation Dan is the people he wants in charge are people who don't want to be in charge.
100%. That's factual. Everyone else is just middle management who's just vying for power, and they're the worst. Okay. Yeah. I had somebody, a friend of mine, he's a project manager at a nuclear power plant, and he's like, I'm a project manager. I'm like, yeah, but what do you do? He's like, well, I manage projects. I'm like, yeah, but what do you do? And he's like, I manage projects. I'm like, yes, but what does that entail? And he could not give me an explanation. I'm like, you're a scam artist. That's not a real job. So
Cinco de Mayo is tomorrow. Do you guys do the thing? Do you go out for Mexican?
I have a show that I booked all Latino comics for. So.
Nice.
Listen, if you really want it to be respectful of the tradition, what you should also do is book one French person and then not let them perform, but make them show up. That's the key, because Cinco de Mayo is a celebration of overthrowing French rule, and that's
Battle of Pueblo.
Exactly. So listen, it's only fair that the French realize we all know that they suck, and that we can proceed that way. That's totally reasonable.
100%.
I, as a millennial, starting, I literally like all of my problems regarding my body started when I get married. Apparently, they all come with the ring. Like, I started getting allergies in the spring after I got married. I started. I didn't used to have them. Katie has them really bad. Apparently, that comes with the to have and to hold speech. Here's some of my allergies.
They're from the vaccine.
Sure. There's that. I started noticing that 100%. I was fully going bald, or my hairline was receding.
Well, that is from marriage.
Yeah, that's 100% from marriage.
I am losing the ability to digest dairy products correctly.
Oh, yeah.
I can't eat queso as much as I want to anymore.
I have a question. Are you sure that Katie isn't a Black Widow? I'm just saying, she might be setting you up. Has she taken out any large insurance policies on you?
She did say she had a plan to kill me.
Every wife does. That's very reasonable. That's only fair.
But all I'm saying is that, like, for millennials, at the very least, like, going out to Cinco de Mayo has always, been a thing since the holiday was created. But now we're like losing that ability to fully enjoy it the way we used to.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just an excuse for Americans to get drunk, really.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
I feel
margarita is all the way down.
But that's what that's why we need more holidays. We need more holidays because then we have more excuses just hey, I'm staying home and getting shit faced in celebration of this random event. To commemorate it.
Exactly.
And enjoy. That's fine.
I keep saying this. We need like a major holiday with a season in like August, because summer fucking sucks. It's hot. Yeah. There's like, you have the Halloween, Thanksgiving, if you can call that a season, and the Christmas season all in a row, and then just nothing for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Like, well, in September you got Labor Day.
That's not a season. That's Labor Day. No one's being like, all right, guys, get your bunting out and start wearing red, white, and blue and celebrate. No, it's just
the 4th of July, and then you skip August basically, and then it's Labor Day.
We have a civic holiday in August, so we get one day off, and then we have Canada Day in July. We have most months we have at least one. We have one day off, which is pretty. I'm like, it's pretty decent, but yeah. I feel like we need like a week off. I think every country should be like, yes, the 3rd week of the month, nobody works, everybody's off. Just
so basically like Holy Week for Christianity, but just like, fuck this, I'm not working.
Yeah, we should make the Sabbath like just 1 week a month.
Yeah,
sure. Like, sorry, can't leave the house. It's just those are the rules.
That's how they do in Asia. They get that whole spring week off.
So hilariously, even so for my wife, she's like, if you're trying to get stuff manufactured or whatever, and it's happening in China, like you have to make sure everything's done well in advance of Chinese New Year, because no one's picking up a phone, no one's doing any work, and that's usually like two weeks, sometimes even a month, where it's like, oh yeah, it's Chinese New Year. Good luck on getting it done.
Now that would be kind of an interesting way to cap off the holiday season. Like, okay, it's the new year, we're not coming back till January like 15th or something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see that as a bad thing, right? Because realistically, I like people who are like, hey, I'm going to work really hard during Christmas and do all the Christmas jobs. Great. Then you should have the rest of the year off, because let's be honest, dealing with people during the holidays is the worst, because people are crazy, right? There's no year of the Dino. I mean, I feel like I should be a zodiac symbol at this point. If I get abs, I'm definitely I'm going to turn into something like that. I have a question. Yeah, hit us with the question. Don't worry.
The problem is the commercialism is never going to allow for that, because people don't stay home if they have time off. They want to go shopping. They want to go out and get drunk and, go to restaurants and whatever. So they're never going to, everybody's not going to be off that ever.
Yeah. I feel like we should take shifts seasonally basis. You get paid for a whole year, but you only have to work one season a year. I think that could work. Then it's like, oh, well, I only work like maybe even 2 seasons, 6 months a year you work, the rest of the year you don't have to. You just have to pick. Are you a summertime person? Are you a wintertime person? It's totally fair. I think I would
rather work in the summer, in a in a country where air conditioning is common, Dino, and
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
and then have the winter time off, because I just love the cold weather so much, and you can like enjoy yourself.
I see, and that's the thing is like I don't mind. Like I'm getting used to hot weather, but like at the same time, we just booked a trip to go to Hong Kong and Thailand, and everyone's like, "You're going in the summertime." I said, "Yeah," and they're like, "Are you out of your fucking mind?" And I'm like, yes, I am." So I'm planning my
Especially someone of your size, not to
yeah.
not to deny your weight loss journey and the fact that you lost an entire fat guy's worth of weight. The swamp ass is going to be insane.
Well, this is like I've only recently started to be able to enjoy hot tubs, which I enjoy very much so. But up until I lost the weight, I'm like I could get my up to my knees, and then after that, I'm like it's too hot. I'm not doing this. I feel like I'm gonna die. So it's
I feel like
now,
I'm being cooked.
100%. Like, and also too, when like one of the places that we booked, Victoria's like, oh, you can have like food, like a food. You know, people were like, oh, I'm having breakfast in my pool. I'm like, that's disgusting, because if you drop any food, you are now soup, and I'm not. I don't want to be in a soup. That's not my thing. That's not. But yeah, it's one of those things where I'm assuming that through this trip, I'm going to drop at least another 40 pounds of just fat, because I'm going to sweat it off, which,
that part.
yeah, I'm okay. That's, if anything, that'll be the, last part of my weight loss journey is, I died, by lava. That's, yeah.
I'm surprised that more like, rich types don't do that, where it's like, I'll just go to Thailand in the summer and just exist and then drop 40 pounds.
Well, plus they eat so much healthier there, that with all the fruits and vegetables and less carbs.
Yeah.
It's
less
like rice,
fast food.
or that's it. There's not really all that much else.
It's very keto.
Yeah. That my only thing is like I'm worried because like number one, even though I've lost 250 pounds, I am still gigantic. So it's like my appetite, like I just had lunch with my wife and her aunt, and like I had 6 eggs plus half a cup of yogurt, an avocado, some pickled radish, some garlic, and like I'm like it's like a full bowl of food, but also people were like, you had 6 eggs at one meal. I'm like, that's like only one meal of the day. I may have another 6 a little later. And people were like, that's too many eggs. I'm like,
from Beauty and the Beast.
I'm like,
what are you, rich? You can afford 6 eggs?
No, just Canadian.
Yeah,
no, it's great. Yeah,
actually, yeah. So the Penguin guy. Well, first he says this could have been an email. It's a podcast. They all could have been emails.
That's true.
Literally all of them.
If you want my opinion on this, I would tune in to Motherfucking Mondays on Upside Down Studios. It's at noon, and you will hear all that, because I don't want to fight with Atlas, because I will fight with Atlas and I'll win, and it's not healthy for our friendship. So
I think we're on the same page for the most part. No.
Well, yeah, that's fine. It's more so like people. This is the problem: is a lot of people are like, Trump's the savior. Like, no, he's not. Anyone who voted for Trump has to realize that vote wasn't a vote for Trump. It was a vote against politicians who have taken on too much power and too much control and are ruining everything. Right? That's what it is. Whereas, in turn, you're like, yeah, it's not. When you're like, yeah, and this is 100% worse. Yeah, you know why? Because it's like, all right, if we're gonna burn it down, we're all gonna burn. I'm all for it. I'm 100% for that.
Vote against people with too much power, and look where we are now.
Yeah.
You know why? It's the whole idea that if we have to burn, we're all going to burn. And when I'm like, I kind of get that. At the same time, I don't really care. It's that idea where people focus so much on politics, and it just drowns out what's actually important in your life, and it bothers me, because it's like, hey man, it's very important to be self-actualized and think about your mental health and your physical health and all those things. Those are very important things. And when you focus on these grand ideas of people, you're like, yeah, that's just a waste of your time, and also a waste of your brain power, and it will make you spiral. So I stopped watching the news years ago, and I'm like, I am so much more happier. Not happy, let's be very clear. I'm not a happy person. I'm just happier than I was.
I would love like what we were saying earlier, where the debates are just the people going like, do I have to? I really don't want to do this. Like just back and forth with each other.
It's a horrible, and this is why is that idea is crazy, because you're like, until you have a politician who's like, okay, listen, obviously taxes are crazy, we're gonna have to get rid of those and stuff like that, and you're like, okay, every politician talks a great game, and then suddenly nothing happens. And you're going, yeah, that's horrible. I don't want to do that. That's the worst, right?
Wouldn't it be nice if we had a day off to vote? That'd be a good holiday.
I thought you guys do. I know here they're like you have to get 3 hours off.
You're supposed to get time off.
Yeah, but
I never have.
No, I don't think anybody has ever. Can you imagine being the person in the office who's like, I need time to vote? Every manager is just going to railroad you for the next 6 months. You're going to be on a PIP, and everyone's going to be like, you need a performance improvement plan. You need to do better. And you're like,
that's usually what ends up happening, where it's like they say they won't and then they do anyway. In my case, I just vote by mail, which isn't always feasible for various people or in various states where they like try and neuter that. But vote by mail, and then like when they're like, you have time off to go vote, I'm like, okay, and then I'll just go get an ice cream or something and then come back.
That is nice. I mean, you deserve an ice cream.
My understanding about voting by mail is that they don't count those votes until after they count the live votes, and they only count those votes if the live votes are close.
Hey,
I knew about the counting after the live votes, but I didn't know that if they were close part. So perhaps I shouldn't next time. Good to know.
I remember watching a podcast, and it was a guy who's very politically minded and very loud politically, and he was like, hey, if democracy worked, it would be illegal. And you're like, it seems hilarious, because you're like, yeah, it's the idea that mail-in votes only get counted at a certain point in time. You're like, that's nuts. That's not. No, it's a mail-in vote. It should count. It's the whole thing. I'm still of the opinion that what actually should happen is all political office should be by draft. You're just randomly picked. It's your job for 4 years.
It's the Hunger Games.
100. Hey, but it is. And the fact is that any other people who are a career politician, like, look, this was the big thing up here. Was we had on the Liberal side was Mark Carney, who is hasn't lived in Canada for the last 10 years. Has been working for the Bank of England, moved all of his businesses out of Canada just before he became a political person. You're like, that's not who you want in charge. The alternative was a guy who's been a politician since he was 20 and has never had a real job. He talked a good game, but you're like, he's never had a job. Neither of these people are qualified. Okay, it's that simple. They're both losers. Yeah. So, and then people are like, oh, they had this thing called elbows up, where it's like, oh, I'm gonna get out of your mind. Like half of the people who are very strong, opinionated when it comes to politics, you're like, have you lost your mind? Because none of this makes any sense. You're like, well, I voted for this person. Okay, that's been the last 10 years of garbage. Why would you do that? And especially like the way Canadians vote traditionally is we don't vote people in, we vote people out. This is what you guys did last time. You're like, we're voting him out, and whoever else gets it, so be it. And you're like, that's 100% a mistake. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
very entertaining from up here, I'll tell you that much. Very entertaining. But yeah.
See, okay, so while I've been here pet sitting, I found out that my brother-in-law has an account on like every streaming service.
Nice.
So I spent a lot of time watching stuff on Apple TV because I'm not paying for Apple TV. But I watched the pro shot for Come From Away. Have you guys seen that?
No.
So it's a musical about this little town in Newfoundland that on 9/11 those planes got diverted there, and then the town's population Gander. It's really good, but it was very interesting seeing like how the Canadian mind works. I don't know how accurate it is to like real life. It's a musical, of course, but it was
Gander's not. Gander is Gander.
Gander is Gander.
It's not
the fuck out there.
It's new due to booted Canada, not like, we're in Canada. We're nice, but also the Geneva Conventions are made for us. Like that's not. They're two different.
Yeah. That's actually one of the first, like in the like opening song where everyone's like introducing themselves. It's there's a thing where it's like you'll understand about half of what we say. If you come from Hawaii, you'll understand about half of what we say.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I had a friend who was a pilot out in Gander, which Gander is very tumultuous weather-wise. So like you will take off and it's summertime, and when you're landing, it is the worst snowstorm known to mankind in the history of all, farmers' almanacs. So it's a very diverse place, but if you learn to fly there, you can fly anywhere basically, because it's absolutely insane. And also, like, you're not flying the most up to date of planes because it's goddamn Gander, right? So it's because remember, like, flight used to happen where they would leave the States, go to Gander, and then proceed to Europe at the closest place, and then onward, right? So the idea of a long haul flight came, and then Gander proceeded to lose everything, and then that happened, and they're like, yeah, we got room for 6,000 people. We've been holding up waiting for this to come. So yeah, it's great. So it was a very interesting thing.
That's crazy.
Atlas, have you frozen or have you just had a stroke? I'm not sure.
Nope,
sir.
Just reading something like a long thing that Katie sent me.
Well, there you go. She's like, I'm the poison has worked.
I get the feeling that like that's how I died, because she says that her plan to kill me was to suffocate me in my sleep and then be like, he had a seizure while face down and I couldn't roll him over because he's too heavy. I have a fat husband. Oh knows. And then
that is definitely too specific, and you should arrange a pulley system over your bed, so you just have to like pull one thing and you fall out of bed. It would be perfect. Much better. Trust me.
I don't know. I think it's a pretty ingenious way to kill me if that's how you're going to do it. Thailand has loads of rice and deep fried. Good point. I forgot about Thailand.
I'm also just going to get fat in Thailand and then swim in the pool and hope nobody calls me a manatee. It'd be nice. It's just, because that's exactly how I swim. Just, yeah. It's 100% factual.
Would you guys want, like, if you were to make a new holiday for a specific time of year based on whatever the hell you want, what would it be? Where would it go?
Oh, well, I think since we don't have one in August, we should make a summer day, like a summer holiday kind of thing. And then you can just have the day off to go, lay at the beach or have a picnic or whatever.
Swamp ass day.
See, like I think it's in Chile. There's the day after Christmas. People get together and you're allowed to fight, no holds barred.
Oh, interesting.
And wow. Any grievance you have. Day? Yeah, it's literally Boxing Day. It's great.
You're like, oh, Boxing Day. Oh, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. Oh, it's the other kind of Boxing Day. Okay, put them up.
So people, you're allowed to fight whoever you want until somebody gives up. And it's specifically with regards to any disagreements or any sort of like rivalries or anything. You're like, that's absolutely no problem. And then people just go for it. And you're like, that is 100% needed in every country. I'll be honest. And we don't go to court. Boxing Day, we'll handle it. It's, I mean, I'm all for it.
It's like that scene from the Sherlock Holmes movie with Robert Downey Jr., where you're just explaining how you're going to beat the shit out of your opponent and then do it.
Yeah.
But in America, it would be the purge because, we're Americans and we love guns and killing and violence.
This is the problem is I love the idea of, and I would love to get my license, but everything's all cockeyed up here. But like, I think you should. But the idea, if somebody has a fight with you and then you're like, I'm going to pull a gun, you're a coward. That's not, no, it's a fight. Just fight with your fists. Is that why it would be such, it's disappointing where you're like, come on, at least like when I grew up.
It's the easy way out.
It's the 100%. I'm like, no, listen, you have to train and fight and become a better fighter, and then you can win. It's totally, people aren't willing to put in the effort. They'd rather use money and just buy a gun. And you're like, yes, but come on, just have some decency, people.
Well, we are lazy Americans, so.
I mean, trust me. So, Carol, one of the funniest experiences I ever had was the first time I went to the UK with my wife. She was born in the UK, and we went to a Greg's, which has the best sausage rolls known to mankind. They're fantastic. Anyone who says otherwise is probably some sort of lizard person. Don't trust them. So I walked up, and me being the chatty cat that I am, just started chatting up the lady who's running the place. And I'm like, oh, I want to try all these things. And she's like, oh, so where are you from in America? I'm like, I'm actually Canadian. She's like, get lost. I'm like, it's because I'm fat, right? And she's like, you're the fattest person I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, oh, that's fair. That's fair. She's like, you're just so big. And I'm like, no, I know. That's fine. And even like every time I travel, I tell people I'm Canadian. They're like, really? Didn't know Canadians came in that size. I'm like, just to make it worse, I'm also of Greek heritage. And they're like, no way. They're like, Greeks don't pass like 5'8". I'm like, I know. They didn't have food. That's kind of how that works. But
He's
you know,
huge.
yeah.
Oh no. Annie, what are you doing? She's she keeps trying to climb me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do look a little bit like a mountain. That's fine.
That's true. I also have to check in on my parents-in-law. Their cat, Ozzy, literally likes to climb people. Like Pikachu, he'll just be on your shoulder.
Oh, that's a good cat. I wish my cat did stuff like that.
Yeah. I used to have a cat that did that. He was a shoulder cat.
I mean, like my cat's gotten a little fat, so I call him Fatso, and he doesn't like it. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm big enough that I could carry him on my shoulder. I'm like, I would be essentially some sort of Norse god with a cat, fat cat on my shoulder. I think it'd be good. I think it'd be a good look.
It's either that or like that's the version of like you in the big chair. Like I've been expecting you, and the cat's just like
100%. Yeah. Hey, you have a nice weekend too, Betty. Thanks.
Like they should have a national. I'm sure there's a national pets day, but specifically for people who can't afford a pet, live in a place that doesn't allow pets, you know, their partner is allergic to one. You get the day off and you go to either like a cat cafe or a dog park and pet other people's cats or dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be a fun holiday.
Well,
throw the allergies on top of the allergies. It's cool.
Sponsored by PetSmart.
Yes.
Serge.
Knowing the U.S., that's like all other holidays that we create from now on have to be sponsored by someone, right?
Yeah.
Serge says, I got an orange cat that likes to get on my shoulders. I mean, that's a great cat.
He's an orange cat too. His name's Ozzy.
But Serge is also like, he's got an orange beard, so he's kind of an orange cat at the same time. He's not
an orange cat. He's an orange cat.
Yeah. He's an orange cat. Exactly. You have a nice week. I love you. Okay, Betty. I'm married, but hey, we appreciate you. That's fine. Bill of Rights. I mean, the Bill of Wrongs, but sure, that's fine. That's yeah. See, I don't know if you guys have seen a surgeons in this, but we've started to see like cat and dog cafes here, where they'll just have like 30 cats or 30 dogs, and you can just go and play with them. Whenever, which I'm like, that sounds awesome, but also everything will have cat hair in it, and I don't like that. That's a real. We have a Russian blue, and he doesn't really shed that much, but like when you comb him, like clumps of hair comes off because he's got a double coat. But yeah,
Katie and I, when we were in Japan this winter, there was a cat cafe near a hotel, and I was like, why don't we go? And she's like, 1, allergic, 2, that particular one doesn't treat their cats very well. Oh, and then in my head, I'm like, can cats lobby for union rights? Is that a thing? Like, do the cats need to get a union?
I mean, out of all animals, cats would be the ones to do it.
Definitely.
They also would lead organized crime. Let's be honest.
Yes. I mean, it's called a wildcat strike for a reason, you know?
I mean, that's fair. Yeah. Victoria says, wish my cat wants to get on my shoulders. He just politely waits for stuff and yells it for me. That's exactly what he does. If she's in the bathroom too long, he stands outside the bathroom and starts meowing, and I'm like, calm down. She's just in the bathroom. Relax.
That's what the cat that's what Calypso does. She meows at you for everything. Like, whether happy or sad or whatever, just meows.
We have a friend who has a Scottish fold. It's very small. It's a girl cat, but her meow sounds like the meow of a cat that's smoked 4 packs a day since it was born. So it's like meow, and you're like, what the hell? Why is it so angry? They're like, that's just her meow, and I'm like, that's not. That is an angry cat. It's very odd, very odd. But
they are. Love cats.
They're great. Like I always tell people, I'm like, look, a dog is a great companion. A cat is a worthy adversary. That's, it's that's the best part. And they come with claws and they can stab you a little bit. That's fine. I mean,
No,
and
that's
then you
easy.
learn reflexes on how to pull your hand away from touching it. Like my cat, if you touch his paws, he really dislikes it. Not the bottom, but at the top, he really gets annoyed. So I always try and touch it, and then he tries to bite me. And he's got me a couple times, but I've gotten away more often than that. So I'm like, haha, reflexes.
Okay,
Well, the thing about cats is you don't need a babysitter for them. You could just leave them the weekend, with a full bowl of food and water,
Exactly.
and they're fine.
Yeah.
That's literally that's the same thing with Ozzy. Like, just check on him once a day, make sure the food's full, and like, that's it.
We got an automatic feeder, and Victoria got a like a spout of water that like you fill up just like once every couple of weeks and stuff, and you're like, he's good, and he's just like, I don't need. The only thing he gets mad about now is if Victoria doesn't pet him at the end of the night, where she uses one of those special gloves to take off all of his extra fur. And then she usually gives him treats then too. So she's been trying to get him to shake hands, and he's like, I don't give a shit. Just give me the treat, woman. It's very entertaining to watch, because then he'll look at me like, if Victoria goes on a work trip or something, and I'm at home, he'll disappear for 2 days, and then he comes back and just looks at me. He's like,
You're
treats.
not her.
You're not doing your job. And I'm like, I'm not going to give you treats. You haven't done anything for me. He's like, how dare you? And he gets so angry. And then he just starts sleeping beside me, and then eventually I give him a treat, and he's like, was that so hard? And I'm like, yes, it was. Stop being a mean cat.
The worthy adversary thing is self-inflicted a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair. That's pretty reasonable.
What is with cats where you pet them and then everything's fine, and then all of a sudden it's like,
I don't know. I don't know, but at the same time, it's one of those things where I'm like, why would you be this way? And they're like, I just am. And then we'll walk away and show you the butthole. And you're like, I don't, stop doing that. Or
look
even like
my brown eye.
It's 100% factual. The best part is they're like, oh, you try and cuddle with them. They're like, hold on. They'll get up, rub their butt across your face, and then sit back down with their butt facing you. You're like, why? We were comfortable. I don't know why you would do that. That's rude.
There was, okay. So like, there's a general understanding that for teachers, the worst time of the year to teach is October and March, because that's midterm times for both semesters. So you have kids who are like about to be grade cut from sports being like, how do I get my grade up? And it's like, you've turned in nothing this whole semester. You have parents also pissed off that, that their kid is getting grade cut, or even funnier when they're on your side where they're like, yeah, you didn't turn in anything. I got you. There's that, and then like there's not a single 3-day weekend in all of those, or in both of those months. And
does March have March break?
No, our spring break this year is in April for some reason.
Why do they keep changing things just to change things? This is a horrible way of doing things.
I know, I hated it a lot, because like with March, although on the last day of March we had Cesar Chavez Day here in California, Union Strong, and it was like, okay, that's at least one 3-day weekend. And I was thinking, like, we got to have something in October for
Halloween. Should definitely be a holiday, no question. Or I have an idea. The United States of America could join the entire rest of the world and celebrate Thanksgiving when it's meant to be. You animals, okay? None of you make any sense, okay? It's a harvest festival. Why is it in November? The harvest is already done. It's in October. This is the whole principle behind it.
If you want to hear more of us arguing about this, check out our episodes for Canadian and American Thanksgiving from October and November this year.
Canada always, to be clear. No, it's well, this is, so I am a firm believer that because in November all we have is Remembrance Day, which for us isn't I think for you guys is Veterans Day. It's November 11th.
That's Veterans Day.
Yeah, so we have like, it's more like schools aren't off, but that's part of indoctrination. You're like, no, you must remember the things that have happened.
I think,
but it is a bank holiday, which is nice.
Like bank holidays, mail, the mail and stuff like that. In your guys' case, because you guys joined World War I, quickly, because you were still part of the British Empire, sort of.
Yeah.
Back then.
We love fighting. Also, we're violent people.
Yeah. Whereas the U.S. didn't join until 1917, so like our relationship with World War I is very like at a distance.
Yeah. You guys missed a lot of fun stuff.
Fun stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If anyone wants to know, just look up the origin of the Geneva Conventions. Canada, baby.
I
That's
like
what
how
we
this
do.
guy's going, hi, hey, what are y'all talking about? Hello. Okay, so you know
Yeah.
how there's a thing called a title? It's in the title.
See, I have a weird feeling that a lot of the people who watch and ask those kind of questions just can't read. But the weird part is they're typing. So how is that possible? Right? It's very. I don't understand why. Yeah.
When someone like one of my students messages me and they spell my name wrong, you
Mhm.
had to spell my name right to message me on the website that we all use for
Yeah.
like assignments and stuff. So you had to spell it
Hinge?
right,
Is it
spelled it
Hinge?
wrong after. How is that possible?
You know what? It's one of those weird things where like I feel like the whole idea, because they got rid of cursive writing in the US, right?
More or less.
No.
It's like learn to sign your name and you're good. Like
Yeah, but it's being able, like, I do not write well. Like my writing looks like chicken scratches. Just it's horrible.
Yeah.
That's why I enjoy typing significantly more, but I'm also like a two-finger typer. But I am fast. I am fast for a two-finger typer. But it's like the idea where people, like, if someone's like, "Oh, you have to fill out this piece of paper," I go, "Oh, Victoria, you got to fill this piece of paper." They're like, "No, you have to." I'm like, "Oh, I'm not filling that out. Nobody will be able to read it, including myself. Just don't. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that." But yeah, it's people will never look at this stuff. But that's the idea of being able to communicate and write and stuff is still a useful skill. And then
They can read, but they don't comprehend, is what I have
that's
found.
it. Yeah.
also an issue.
Where like I'll stand there with like there's this one kid who I'm thinking of specifically where like I have these little quick writes at the beginning of class while they're sitting down and getting settled, and he's like, "What are we doing?" I'm like, "Look at the quick write. It's every single day that you're here. What does it say?" And he like reads it out loud, so like I know he can read, and then he's like, "Mister, what do you mean?" I'm like, "Okay." So yeah, it's reading comprehension most of the time that is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Serge, trust me, these comments are not directed to you, sir. You're fine. You're a fantastic person, and we love you.
Yeah.
But this is like, I remember growing up, my dad's like, "You have to learn how to read." I'm like, "I can read." He's like, "No, you can't. No, you have to comprehend what you're reading."
Yeah.
And it was that whole idea. Like, so when I first started working for a bank years and years and years ago in my past life, was they would have a DOS program, and all of the information, like, it's just there's a title for everything and it explains every category, and you just go through each category and you're like, yeah, if you just read through it, it just takes time, and then eventually you get to learn where things are and you just figure it out. And I would just go click, 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 and because I'm like 15 years in, you just learn how to do stuff, right? Yeah. And I would just tell people, I'm like, "Oh, just that's where you find that information." They're like, "How did you do that?" I'm like, "Oh, I learned how to read at a young age." And they're like, "I can read." I'm like, "No, you can't." And then people get very offended. And I'm like, "I don't care."
I like offending people. Best quips, like the "Where did you get X thing?" I got it in the French Foreign Legion. It's just so good.
That's so, Carol. I'll if a friend takes me to like a work event or something like that, and then like, I'm very friendly with people, and I'm chatty Cathy, and I love to make fun of people. So when me and that said friend will start talking, and people are like, "Oh, how do you guys know each other?" I'm like, "Oh, we served in the French Foreign Legion," and then I just turn around and walk away. And then my friends start going, "I can't talk about it. Sorry." And they're like, "Really?" And you're like, "No, of course not, you psycho." But it's one of those things where, like, it brings me great joy to be able to drop things on that, like that, on people, and then they just have questions, and I'm like, I'll never answer anything, just out of the fun of it. That was the same thing. It was a friend brought me to a Blue Jays game where she had a box, and they invited this legal team, and I was like, "Hey, which one of you guys can I use if I need shenanigans lawyers?" I'm like, because I'm like, I look like this, and I'm sure someone's waiting to accuse me of murder because of my resting murder face. So I need a shenanigans lawyer. They're like, "No, we don't have a shenanigans lawyer." I'm like, "Yeah, you do. Everyone has a shenanigans lawyer. Lawyers definitely have a shenanigans lawyer. That's 100% factual." Because lawyers, shenanigans, the whole lot of you.
100%.
Yeah, it's. I wish people understood how you're like, listen, we live in countries that are run by lawyers. lawyers are the same as politicians who've never had real jobs. They don't do anything. They just are like, oh, let's just muddy the water. You're like, why would you do that? We're trying to see through the water. They're like, or let's muddy it all. You're like, no, stop it. And they just, yeah, it's very confusing.
Yeah.
I'll never understand. But
those guys can read.
That's true.
I don't think they can, because have you ever seen them order in a restaurant? It's a nightmare. And they're like, can I change this? No. Read what it is. If you want that, that's what you're gonna get. Don't, absolutely not.
Because they love to negotiate. That's why.
I mean, you know what? So I have this theory is that anyone who's like the head of industry, CEO of a company, leader of a political party, leader of a nation should also have some sort of physical attribute as well. So like they're like, oh, I'm an Olympic level ski jumper. I'm like some sort of physical thing that they've achieved, just because you're like, yeah, your superpower is my dad paid for school because he's an alumni and I have money. You're like, that's not a superpower.
Our leader's best power is he is the best golfer in America.
Doing the hands.
I mean,
I don't know. My old roommate, like when we were doing this show before I moved in with Katie, long ago, that roommate, not Fog Machine guy, the other guy,
other one, okay.
He's like studying to be a lawyer, so like I don't know, my view is a little kinder, at least to him, because he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
So shout out to you. You know who you are.
That guy.
Yeah. A good way to end the show, I think, is what is your craziest holiday experience? Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving, whatever.
Should I go first? I was at my mom's for Thanksgiving one year, and the people across the street were trying to cook their turkey and set their oven on fire, and the fire department had to come out.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now,
I mean, it's better than it would have been if it was a Christmas fire, because then it's also really cold and you have no house. Like, so Thanksgiving is much. It's better.
How much of the place burned down, or was it just the oven?
I think it was contained rather quickly, so only the kitchen was affected, but still hilarious to hear. Woo!
Yeah. Everyone's coming outside. Hey, what's going on over here? Everyone else's turkeys catch fire because you're away from the oven now. And motherfucker, we just got
cascade of Thanksgiving fires right across the street. I mean, a day off, a little show, some sirens. That's a great holiday.
Good times. Good times.
Let me see. Hold on. Fabulous 5 says, "Who's your favorite dinosaur?" And Ankylosaurus. He's awesome.
Beat me to it. Big club tail. Very cool.
Yeah, club tail defenses, and just waiting for it.
This theory that they're saying that T-Rexes they didn't have short arms, that those were just wings, that they had wings and they were dragons,
like an ostrich.
Yeah, just like, and birds are kind of like their descendants. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me.
It's possible.
I feel like now we have to redo Jurassic Park again, and it's a little much. It's a little much.
Do you remember that Tom Hardy video I sent you where it's like he's sick and he's recounting all the Jurassic Parks? Let's go to the island, run! Like,
yeah, every time. Fantastic.
Isn't there a new Jurassic coming this summer?
I'm sure.
Yes, with Scarlett Johansson. I mean, I'm a fan of Jeff Goldblum, but I think we've stepped things up with Scarlett Johansson. This is exciting.
Katie and I were talking about this the other day. Do you have AMC in Canada? Do you know?
Yes.
Okay, so you know how there's that like stinger with Nicole Kidman, and like that's how you know the movie's starting is her walking in, and it's like, we come to this place and she's just like gushing about the movies, but she sits down to watch Jurassic World, the first one, and that's quickly becoming more and more like old. And I was talking to Katie, like, are they going to replace the movie she's watching? And she's like, no, it is a relic of its time.
Ridiculous.
Like, Katie would get mad at me, like, why are you on your phone? I'm like, it's the trailer. I don't put my phone away until Nicole Kidman shows up. That's my indication the movie is starting.
That's absolutely fair. That is a reasonable thing. With regards to crazy holiday stories, like most of my crazy holiday stories are Halloween based, because that's like the one holiday that I like to go out most often, because it usually ends up in me making somebody shit their pants because of
your costume,
my just murder face. It's one of those things. Like, so Carol, this last year I got to work in a literal castle that is haunted. It's 100% haunted. And it's kind of like, as like scary jobs for Halloween, like it's kind of like the top, but it's also like super bureaucratic because they make ridiculous amounts of money. And which is not a good fit for me, because I'm very common sense wise. Like two security guys started talking loudly in the middle of my maze, and I literally ripped a strip off of them, and I'm like, you guys are fucking losers, and I'd beat you to death if I could. And they're like, why don't you do your job? And I was like, you know what, you could do it better. And I just walked away, and then I reported them, and and then the security guys tried to look at me to give me shit, and I dwarf all of the security guys. So in turn, they started giving my manager shit, and I'm like, you're not gonna back me up, bro? I'm like, you guys are retarded. And it was, but anyways, the fun part is that every time, like, Halloween is a great time for me to kind of embrace my
giantness.
Yeah, that's a giantness, giant scariness, right? Just because literally, like, this past time, they had me at the front, and I was in this big getup. It was great, and they were like, you're too scary for the front, because I had people walk up, see me, and go, nope, and
nope,
just go, I'll meet you guys at the end. They're like, we already paid for your ticket. They're like, I don't care, I'm not walking in through past that guy, he looks like a murderer. And I'm like, thank you. I'm like, I did a good job. So in the end, they moved me into a maze where I was wearing a full ghillie suit, and in like it was a corn maze, and it was dark, and I would just step out of the darkness and just go like, that's all I would do. And I made a guy, I made multiple women pee, which was hilarious. And they would admit it too. Like, one they just keeled over, and she was like, oh my god, I just peed my pants. And I'm like, I did a good job. That's, But then two guys were walking through, and after they yelled, it was the highest pitch yell I've ever heard in my life, ever, just period. And they were actually in great shape, like they were very thin gentlemen. And when they composed themselves, the one guy reached back and he's like, I just shit my pants. And the problem was, like, he still had to finish the maze and then walk up 4 flights of stairs to the bathroom. And I'm like, if you've ever pooped your pants, stairs, not your friend. Just immediately, it's not. It's and I'm like, for me, like, those are the best things. And even, like, I've been to Halloween parties at bars and stuff, and like, I'll just have random incursions. I have one guy on my Facebook. He's still a friend. His name is Ed DeLay. The only time I met him, only time I've ever talked to him, and we're friends on Facebook still. No idea why. I don't even remember what we talked about, but Halloween was great.
Halloween.
Yeah.
I think second place goes to this last year at Halloween, where I shaved my head to get one over on my cousin.
Yeah.
Because the year before, it was Katie and I were preparing for our wedding that January, and so we kind of phoned in our costumes, and then my cousin was like, what kind of weak sauce is this? I'm like, oh, you want to see weak sauce? I'll shave my entire fucking head. So, shave head, show up as
totally
Walter. Yeah. Only took 3 months to get my hair back to where it was before I shaved it. So that's cool.
Totally fair.
So that's one. I think like the craziest holiday experience growing up, where you have 2 Christmases with divorced parents, is very strange, because the juxtaposition between my dad's Christmas and my mom's Christmas were very different. My mom's Christmas was like, we get up, it's me and my sister and her, and it's just like a little intimate family thing, and we have hot chocolate, and then at noon we go over to my dad's house, where it's like a party from The Great Gatsby. It's all these people that I vaguely met, or like he knows from being a doctor, and my stepmom knew from being a drug rep, and it goes from like 2 p.m. to way past midnight, and like, just silvery tinsel everywhere. And like, especially as I was getting further along in my teenage years, I would get wasted at those. And it's very strange to get wasted at a party and then be like, I gotta go sleep it off, and then just go to bed.
Those are the best kind of parties, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you right now. I'm surprised you didn't mention the time you dressed up as Syndrome. I think that was much better.
Oh, for Halloween? But that was funny, I think.
Also with a beard. I mean, it's fantastic. 100%. Those will never die.
Until the heat death of the universe. It's fine.
It's fantastic. You do a great Syndrome. It's perfect.
Oh,
yeah.
come on. You got to admit this is cool.
It's factual. I mean, listen,
It would be hilarious if Nicole Kidman wasn't in the movie. Yeah, that's true.
That's what makes it even better. That's fine. Yeah, no, it's been I feel like there's I think the key is when you're traveling, make sure you, number one, double check the country you're traveling to if they have any holidays, because that may completely screw over your plans or may make your plans awesome. Because sometimes, like, I was in the Bahamas and they had a celebration of like it was like an independence type thing. Great party. It was very cool. A lot of carnival type stuff. Victoria's like, I don't want to go to that. I'm like, I'll go by myself, because I'm like, nobody's gonna kidnap me. I'm a land manatee. And they're like, no, you don't have
unkidnappable.
Yeah, I am surprisingly, so many like older relatives are like, I was worried you'd get kidnapped. I'm like, what army is going to kidnap me?
Yeah.
Like, that's not a thing. You know,
that's like trying to kidnap an Easter Island head, where it's like, okay, good luck with that, I guess.
I remember I was in Beijing and a bunch of girls in a stall, like I looked into their store. I was like, oh, that's cool. And I kept on walking and they tried to grab me and pull me into the store. I had 4 small Asian women holding one hand and I just kept on walking, dragging them along. One of them fell and she was like, ah, like it was the funniest shit I've ever seen. And my buddy's like, do you want to go in there? I'm like, not really. Do you want to see it? He's like, I'll see it. I'm like, okay. I'm like, you can let go. We'll come back. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, this is absolutely heinous. But
wow, that's actually like incredibly scary for a normal sized person to, like, you're walking along and then some hands come out of the darkness and pull you into their store.
Yeah, I like, that's the funny thing is, like, being how big I am, like I've had people who are like, you have to buy it now. I'm like, no. And they're like, please. I'm like, hell no. Yeah, I'm like, you can't. I'm like, look, worst case scenario, there's a Dino size hole in your wall. Just, oh yeah, or I'll go right through it. No. And if it's glass, I'm putting you through it first, and then I'm just gonna walk through like a gentleman. That's fine. It's very easy that way. I like it. Yeah, fun times. Carol, do you want to plug anything that you have going on for us?
Just follow me at Instagram at the world's best laugh. I have 1,000 shows, so you can come to all of them or any of them. I mean, literally have shows almost every single day. So yeah, just follow me at the world's best laugh.
Totally reasonable.
Nonstop. I've been on those shows. They're very fun to be on and watch. So
I wish I got to do more, do some comedy when I was there, but I'm going to try and plan a trip to LA just for the fun of it. Well, no, last time it was all Atlas's wedding. You got to come. And I'm like, oh, that was good. It was, LA was, I had never been to LA. So Victoria, my wife, wanted to show me around to a few things. And then we went to Universal because she's like, we have to go. And that was super awesome because we had the VIP thing. So I was like, I got to look at people who had like fast pass and go, easy peasant, move aside. I go for it. It was very enjoyable, especially in LA, which I feel like you guys have to suffer that a lot, where people are like, I'm rich. You just calm down. And you're like, ha, ha, ha. I'm one of them. Ha, ha. You know, it was great. So yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good.
You can follow us at Generation Dan anywhere you get your social medias. You can also check out me, at Atlas Novack anywhere social media is found. I mostly do sketches about what it's like to be a teacher, although other stuff like having epilepsy and things like that. So check that out. You can also check out my other show, Nexus at Night.
And my wife trying to kill me.
Yes.
100%.
I should do that more, because like it's usually during the summer when I'm off school that I'm doing stuff like that, where it's like Katie being annoyed with me. But you can follow my other show, Nexus at Night, which is about the card game, Card Fight Vanguard. If that's not your bag, I completely understand. That streams every Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah. I'm Dino the Jake Marvel. You can follow me everywhere at your own peril, because I stand out in the crowd. Let's just say that. But ultimately, we are doing a ton of shows. We got I'm partnering with Upside Down Studios, and we have actually, I don't have it loaded up here. Hold on, give me 1 second. So on Memorial Day weekend, oh yes, I do. Memorial Day weekend, we are doing something called Lord of the Wings. This is the flyer for it. It's going to be happening in Ohio. We are going to be live.
That's
cool. Yeah, it's there's 6 people, and we are eating hot wings. And I'll be honest with you, this is where that guy shines, and it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
You and Cole and Marco and
Marco, great. So it's us, the guys from Upside Down Studios, a few other people that we've had in the past, and then we're going to have somebody who's been writing or has been doing some music for some of our shows. Him and his girl, which is Tiffany Blue, is him. He's a rapper. It's just talking to sound. I'm all for it. It's great.
Yeah.
People should follow their passion. But yeah, they're going to be judging, and we're actually I'm right now I'm trying to use Chat GPT to put everyone's face on Lord of the Rings characters. And essentially everyone is going to be Golem at some point during the show. It'll be great. Just because, fuck them. That's basically it. But yeah, follow me everywhere. I have shows every day on here. And then also soon I bought a new table specifically for making Lego. And it's big, and it's L-shaped, and it's
wow.
I'm just trying to find out where I'm going to put it in my damn house. It's very frustrating. But yeah.
Considering you look like Steve from the Minecraft movie, at some point you gotta pull a tablecloth off of it or something and be like, this is a crafting table. That'll go on social media. I guarantee you.
I can do that.
You can totally pull that off.
And you have to come back to LA and go to Legoland, obviously.
Oh, duh.
You're not allowed in Legoland without kids, apparently. So,
get out.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they told him when he tried to go into Legoland because he doesn't have kids.
What the?
Yeah, it's apparently you have to go in with children, which I'm basically a child. I'm like a giant baby.
That makes zero sense.
Listen, it's not me, it's them. If anything, they're a little bit racist. Maybe the Greeks. I don't know. It's crazy, but Lego. They have a iron fist hold on everything else. But yeah, so follow me everywhere.
Thanks again, Carol. Thanks everybody for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.